So our next presentation is from Rachel Stone. Chicago native Rachel Stone moved to the Fargo Moorhead area 16 years ago and has been on an adventure ever since. Rachel made history when she became the first African-American woman to be crowned Mrs. North Dakota International in 2006. Determined to fulfill her vow of being a big sister and mentor to others, Rachel created her own nonprofit called Peace and Cues Etiquette, which focuses on teaching leadership skills to youth from all walks of life. Rachel's volunteered at a diverse range of organizations in our community and also has worked for both Fargo and Moorhead Public Schools. In addition to teaching student leadership and etiquette skills, she is a recording artist, professional model, and cosmetologist. She has been married to Timothy Michael Stone for 21 years and is the proud mother of 3 teenage sons, Emmanuel, Samuel, and Gabriel Stone. She recently ventured out into deep waters, ran a campaign, and is the newly elected Moorhead School Board member. Please give a warm welcome to Rachel Stone.
Okay, thank you so much. How y'all doing today? Cool. I am so honored to be here celebrating you guys. The future of Fargo is your theme. When I was asked to speak today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. The future of Fargo, you are, and you're such a big part of my passion and my work in the community. So thank you for having me today. You can go to the next slide. I don't know who I'm supposed to go to. My name is Rachel Stone, and Leaderlicious is the program that I teach in the Fargo Moorhead public school system here. I saw the struggle between students learning on day-to-day basis and the teacher trying to teach these students. There were so many needs that prevented our students from getting the benefits of their education. So I became the middleman.
She's like a mom. She treats us very well. She takes care of us. She makes sure that we're having a good day, and she's very nice.
We'll talk about how to overcome obstacles. Basically, I want to help them develop their goals, their strengths. They need to know where they're strong at so that they will not become another statistic, and there's lots of peer pressure during these middle school years. So we talk about, how to be strong, how to be you, how to stand in the midst of adversity, how to pick healthy relationships. Impacts are key to me, and I do watch for that. I want to know that I am making a difference in their lives, whether it's saying no, to ditching classes, or, being respectful to their teachers. Learning how to pick the right group of friends is very important.
Leaderlicious has taught me a lot. It has taught me how to lose my self-confidence because I didn't have confidence in myself.
I like Leaderlicious because it is fun and we get to all work together as a family, and if we're having a problem, then we can all work it out and we can get help from each other.
So it is a preventative class. It is a preventative program.
I think all the girls should take Leaderlicious because being a girl is really hard. So Leaderlicious is gonna help you and teach you how to be more of a girl, be yourself as a girl.
Our goal, honestly, is to reach girls in every school, to see them make a great impact on their personal world, in their personal communities. To know that I am helping them to grow, to know that I'm helping them to break these negative cycles in their life, so that they can go on and reach, their goals in life. It's very satisfying, and it's why I cannot stop. And my purpose, I believe that I was made for these girls. I believe that I went through these struggles and challenges in life as a young girl so that I can help them to be successful, to break those cycles, and to see them each day making better choices and starting nonprofit organizations and being leaders, leaders even at home. They can impact their parents. A lot of them, I see them, telling mom and sharing things with mom and sister and aunt. That's what it's about, them spreading and being effective. And so to see that happening lets me know that my life is worth it. And so I will not stop. Yes. That is
My Leaderlicious program, P's and Q's Etiquette, is actually my purpose. I believe this is my purpose and what brought me all the way from Chicago to Fargo. The first gift that you see, most of the time, a lot of times because I'm an introvert, and I know you may not be able to tell, but I am. I'm an introvert, and so when I'm asked to public speak, a lot of times, that's my reaction. The youngin' from Home Alone, that's how I feel. But then I think about my purpose and you all, because today is not about me at all, it's about all of you. It truly is. I think about someone who having struggles and obstacles, and my job today is to make you think. I want to inspire you. So if I can just, if I can just impact one person in here that will feel uplifted and encouraged, like, yeah, I can do this, as they walk out those doors, then my job is done. That's and so my reaction and the second gift, that's how I'm feeling. Really, really excited about being here. I'm a dreamer. And when I was young, you know, I would watch the movie Wizard of Oz. And so that's somewhere over the rainbow. Okay, so I'm a dreamer. Oh yeah, I love to sing. So yeah, I was probably like Beyonce and maybe Ariana Grande, you know, my former life, you know. I love to sing, and so I incorporate all my talents and gifts into presentations. I love to sing. So let me introduce you to the dream rule. The dream rule, D stands for decide. Decide today that I'm not going to let, or you are not going to let anyone stop you or distract you from reaching your goal. Whatever your dream is, even the person sitting next to you, it is your dream. So you're not going to let anybody stop you or prevent you. R stands for realize. Realize that we are all born with our own set of strengths, talents, gifts, and abilities. But on the other side of that spectrum, we also have weaknesses. Everybody in here has a kryptonite, a place where they are weak, because no one is good at everything. And so in order to fight or resist that kryptonite, we must equip ourselves. We must arm ourselves so that we are powerful. The A stands for aim. We're aiming. What direction are you going in? And you're going to aim high. And the M stands for move. Once we know where we're going, we're moving. We're going to make big things happen. Society of social media has painted a picture that shows we must look like, act like, feel like, and follow after what? But what about all of the unique, different, distinctive, and creative individuals? Think about it. And this is just some stats about social media. There are 3.397 billion active social media users. We spend an average of 116 minutes a day. And then it's a rule that people use social media to create idealized or more perfect and realistic versions of themselves to share with the world. But what about those who are not interested in being perfect anywhere, online, in their personal lives, anywhere? They just want to be themselves. So here I am. I'm one of those people. I wear many hats, and as you can see, I love my hats. My hats represent my personality, the different facets of Rachel, my talents, my gifts. I'm a woman of many hats. Now, I wasn't diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, so don't get it twisted. I'm not a schizophrenia, but I wear many hats. I have different roles in the community. I'm a mother, I have three sons, I'm a wife, I'm a community leader, I'm a recording artist, I sing, I model, a cosmetologist, I think I said that already. But there's so many things that I do, and so I have different roles in the community. I'm a creative person. today I want to talk about how I got to where I'm at. Because I don't know about you, but when I was in your shoes, I didn't really know where I was going. I had been through so many issues as a young girl. And so I struggled. How in the world do I reach my goals and dreams in life? So I failed. I had low self-esteem. I tried things. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take you down memory lane just to give you an idea of some of the obstacles I had to go through. This is my family. Don't y'all not laughing. I had expected y'all to laugh when you all saw this picture. But yeah, this is me. I was born into a family. There I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. And that picture was taken in front of a church. I am a PK, a pastor's daughter. And so I had a very, very unique life. How many firstborns do we have in the audience? Yeah, lots of expectations. Yep. So you can relate. I was the firstborn, and so I was responsible for my sisters. I had to be. I felt like I had to be perfect. The rest of the church, all eyes were on me, and so I had to set the standard and example for everybody. And so I felt like I had to please everybody, and I struggled with that, trying to please my dad the most. That was a big challenge for me. Now, a PK's life is super special. This vehicle, I totally despise it, okay? Just look at it. It's a church van. Imagine being dropped off in this every morning for school. So giving you a picture of my unique life and how I didn't quite fit in, yep, I would get dropped off in this every morning. We had to go to church, and my dad was very, very religious. He preached religion. I had to go to church every Monday night prayer, Wednesday night Bible study, Friday night youth service, Saturday night choir rehearsal, and Sunday service, which would eventually turn into 2 services because it would be a missionary service after morning service. So I lived in the church. And my dad was super strict. He didn't let us participate in after-school activities. So none of the games and none of the clubs, speech, none of that we couldn't participate in, which really distanced me from everybody else. I felt really sad. You know how you would feel if you weren't able to participate. So I questioned God, like, why me? Why is this my life? Why is this my life? I didn't ask for this, and I felt like, honestly, God, you really must hate me. You really must hate me. I had lots of struggles that I had to go through, and I want to share a little bit more about those struggles. The loneliness, feeling broken, some of those painful experiences that I had to go to school some days with a busted lip because my dad had got upset. And it wasn't pretty. I was crushed, honestly. There was a time when and these are the secrets. These are the secrets that we don't share. We don't want anybody to know these things because they're very painful. And then I had to deal with rejection. We trusted a friend in the church, and I was abused sexually by that person. And I expected my dad to come through for me, and he didn't. And I had these health issues. I was born with asthma, and so I couldn't run or participate in PE like everybody else. And then I was bullied. I was made fun of because I was the girl with the gap between her teeth. I didn't have perfect teeth. I had the puffy hair. I had eczema really bad, and so the kids would call me alligator skin. So these are some of the challenges I would have to go through when I was a young girl that really crushed my self-esteem. And because of that, I had many, many suicidal attempts. This is me. And I remember one day going in the bathroom at home and looking in the medicine cabinet and taking every pill in there. And the next moment, I woke up. I was in the ER. And my mom had found me. She rescued me because the doc said if your mom didn't find you, yeah, you wouldn't have made it. Had to get my stomach pumped. And so that's part of my story. My scars, some of those painful experiences led to depression. And that day I was singing, I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive. I just want to die today. And there would be many more attempts that I would take because I just felt like dirt. I didn't feel like anything. But think about this. What if there was a purpose in all the madness that we go through in life? How can you help someone else overcome something if you've never been through any obstacles or challenges yourself? How can you get back up if you've never, ever been knocked down? And how can you succeed if you've never lost at anything? So, I graduated, and I brought my props here. I'm going to have maybe a hard time trying to put them on because I'm trying to hold the microphone and talk to you guys. But I graduated a year early, so I was a little sad about that too because I couldn't go to prom. You know, I didn't have that final year. But I learned that I could graduate a year early, and I didn't have to take that senior year. And so, yep, I graduated a year early. I had to move away, though. I decided I had to get away from it all. And so I decided to move to Memphis with my grandmother. And she really just took me in. A lot of times we meet people in our lives, and they're hard on us. But she was a teacher to me. She taught me how to be a lady. She saw in me what I didn't see. And that's what we need to realize a lot of times about older adults that cross our paths, that we come in contact with. They can see in us. They see our full potential, even though we don't see it. And so she would teach me how to be a lady, and she bought me a girdle, and she'd suck it in, Rachel, and sit upright and be a lady, not knowing that she was actually training me for pageantry, really, for this time. So always align yourself with mentors and welcome that. So then I moved back a year later, and then I met a guy in the church, and I got married, and we had our three. We fell in love, and then we had our three sons, Samuel, Emmanuel, and Gabriel. Oh God, I prayed for a girl, but nope. God gave me 3 boys, and so yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yep, I had my family. I moved to Fargo, which is to me the Arctic freeze, and I never ever imagined that I would end up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away from my home. But I felt like my parents needed me. They felt like they were starting a ministry. They needed help, and I wanted to support. I have a heart and a love for people. So I decided to move down, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I felt like my dream life is over. It's gone now. I started to have those moments again about depression, where I was sad and lonely, taken away from everything. But I remember something that my dad taught me, and even though I didn't get along with him, he taught me to always pray, and that life is about purpose and helping others. And so I decided to get involved in the community. I started volunteering. I started getting involved in my son's education. I took a liking to early childhood literacy, and that really just opened up doors for me. We started volunteering everywhere, and it was during a volunteer opportunity where someone saw me and said, "Hey, would you like to model for us?" And it was a local agency. And so I just went ahead and, you know what, fine. It sounds like something fun. So I have here that you never know what act of giving will change your life. I only intended to give back, to help, because I know that that's something that I love to do, and that's what I've been taught. But that opened up doors for me because I ended up modeling at a show at the Fargo Dome. And it was the state directors who saw me modeling and said, "You know what? Would you like to to run for Mrs. North Dakota. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Me? Run for Mrs. North Dakota? No way. I just have my kids. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money. This is not for me. But I have this hat here, and this is my scarecrow hat. And it represents your dream. And sometimes you're out there in the wilderness with your dream because everybody doesn't believe in your dream. And you can't honestly share your dream with everybody because it's your dream. And so I was telling people, I'm running for Mrs. North Dakota. And like, girl, you're crazy. I don't know why you think that you can win. You know, that's too much money. That's not very smart. Oh, you need to focus on this. You need to do that. So I found myself out there. I found myself out there alone. But I knew that purpose was calling me. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have any experience. I knew nothing about pageants. But what I did have was a love for children. And so youth missions, that became my platform. I ran for Mrs. North Dakota, and I lost. And that was hard. Because remember, I told you that I had to be perfect, and so losing was not in the picture. If I'm going to attempt something, I'm going to win. So I was afraid to lose, but I actually did it. But then I lost. I got second runner-up. But I learned that stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the greatest things ever because it teaches you, and you learn so many lessons from that. Another lesson is challenges are opportunities for you to grow. Maximize every challenge because you never know where it's going to take you. Fail your way to the top. I failed, but oh my goodness, I learned so much, and it really built my self-confidence. So the next time I went, I wasn't comparing myself with anybody. Because I told you, I'm not from here. I didn't have a lot of money. The next time I went, I went and I purchased my shoes from Payless. I bought my suit from a garage sale, a yard sale that summer, and I won in the dress that I borrowed. Because it doesn't take a lot of money to accomplish big things. I learned that being me will make more of an entrance than any similarity will. I knew that I had a heart for Head Start, and Head Start were suffering budget cuts. And I'm like, no, all my kids went through this program. They got it. No. And so I saw it as a great opportunity to get the word out about early education. And so that's what I did. I used Head Start as my platform, and I won. And I'll never forget those words. And your new Mrs. North Dakota International is Rachel Stone. I never thought I would accomplish that. And honestly, a lot of people didn't, but I did. So as you look at the handout, what are those thoughts? What are some thoughts that you have that you continue to let hold you back from reaching your goals? And only you know those thoughts. And you can just take a moment to just write it down really quick, and we're going to keep on moving. Oh, so I was feeling really good. Oh my gosh, I accomplished something that I never thought I would. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. That's how I felt. Oh, I'm doing big things now. I'm speaking in parades now. I'm like a local celebrity. And oh my God, the coolest thing is I can speak in schools to the young people. And it was then that my purpose started to unfold. I saw myself in those children. You know, I remember being that young girl and wanting a big sister because I was the oldest, remember, and but I never had anybody to talk to look up to, and so I'm in the schools and I can remember that feeling, and it was the greatest feeling ever. And so my purpose, it really started to unfold. Maybe it's for me to work in the schools. Now I'm like, no, I already have 3 sons. You know, I don't need to be around kids anymore. It's time for Rachel to do Rachel, you know. But nothing could satisfy that feeling that I can actually impact the life. And so oh my goodness. Now I'm modeling, so I'm doing my thing now. You can switch to the next slide. I'm traveling. I'm modeling. I'm Tampa Bay, Florida. Agency signed. I signed with the agency there. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I'm Wisconsin. I even made it to Hollywood. Someplace I never thought I would make it to. And I ended up on the Janice Dickinson show with Tyra Banks. And I was there to advocate, honestly, for modesty. I was there to say that you can be beautiful without doing the most, that without regrets. And I honestly, I couldn't believe that. And oh yeah, that's Boris Kodjoe. I don't know if you see him on TV, but yeah, he plays in lots of TV shows. But my parents always told me to remember where I come from and to stay humble, because that fame could disappear just as quickly as it came. But something was still missing. Even though I was living my dream, I still felt this emptiness inside. Like I'm not actually there. I didn't feel totally fulfilled. My mind went back to speaking in the schools and being with those kids. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to get that feeling back. So if you look at your other handout, purpose will call you. Your purpose will call you. If you're not active in that purpose, you'll start to get bored and you start looking for other things. And so, how do you discover your purpose? Well, ask yourself, and when I go out and speak to our young people, I ask them, what is an issue that drives you crazy? An issue that makes you want to change it or solve it? What is a problem in the world? What kind of things do you enjoy doing? If you had a cause that you can advocate for, what would that be? If you could work a job for free, what would be that job? That's how you discover your purpose. So, I knew that I had to go to the schools. I'm going to the schools. Young people, I feel like that's my purpose, my calling. I had applied for lots of jobs and could not get into this school system. And a job came available, and that was for the lunch lady. And I'm like, should I take this job for the lunch lady? You know, I've been Mrs. North Dakota before. You know, I have these skills, these talents. The lunch lady is really not for me. But then again, it was all about those kids. So I applied, and I got into the schools. I had to get in there somewhere. And so, yep, I became the lunch lady. And so I'm serving nuggets, I'm serving mashed potatoes, you know, and I remember, again, I'm looking at these kids and I'm seeing myself in them. You know, I remember I was the young girl with the busted lip. I was the young girl who felt like nothing, like my life was over, who didn't want to live. And I would begin to encourage these students or just say a kind gesture or smile. And I would tell all the boys, you got to eat your vegetables because the veggies make you strong, you know. And then I telling the girls, and they're like, Miss Stone, you're so beautiful, and da-da-da, the new lunch lady. And I'm like, okay, if you want beautiful skin, you got to eat your veggies, your fruits and veggies. And then all of a sudden, they were only using 2 cans of string beans. Now they're doubling the size, and so everybody's wondering what's happening. That group of 4th and 5th graders went and had a talk with the principal. The principal calls me in his office and he says, Miss Stone, I want to talk to you. And don't worry, you're not in trouble. We just want to talk to you. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, what have I done? And he says, the 4th and 5th graders came and talked to me. They had a talk with me and they asked me to hire you. They asked me to give. And so he hired me into the Fargo public school system as a para. He offered me a job as a para. And that was my beginning into the Fargo public school system. And I worked there 3 years, and that's when I saw the need. That's when I saw a need. There's a struggle in the classroom. The teacher is trying her best to educate these students. The student is acting out. They're throwing spitballs and just creating chaos in the classroom. She's doing her best. There has to be a middleman. There has to be something else that could be done. I really felt like I wanted to support. I wanted to help. I wanted to solve that problem. And so I created P's and Q's etiquette. It basically is it's nothing magical. I just saw a need and said, hey, there are kids in here who need that extra support. They're allowing these issues that are going on at home or whatever they're going through to prevent them from getting the benefits of their education. And so we created P's and Q's etiquette. P's and Etiquette, honestly, it's an empowerment program. It's putting the power in their hands and letting them know that I control my future, my now, my future, that I can achieve my goals. So it helps them to reach their greatest potential. It helps them to manage their daily lives, and it builds their self-confidence. I started with 2 girls in the basement of my church. And I struggle with that because I wanted P's and Q's to be glamorous. Remember, I'm a pageant queen. P's and Q's is going to be the bomb, okay? But I didn't have the money or the funds to match that. So I started in the basement with 2 girls, which grew to 6 girls. And before you know it, I had 20 girls. So don't despise small beginnings. Do not despise small beginnings. If you have an idea, start it. Start somewhere because you never know where it's going to take you. And so this is just some pictures with us doing our table etiquette classes. This is a picture of me venturing out and starting a business. Well, it didn't last long. It only lasted a year. We started a boutique, me and my sister, downtown Fargo. And boutiques are very competitive. But I learned a lot. I learned how to run a business. And I was able to say I got that under my belt. At least I tried. Because remember, I was afraid to fail. But not anymore. So some of the hard stuff. My own self-doubt, afraid to fail. I had to overcome that. No money. Oh, my gosh, I didn't have the money. So how am I going to do this? I had little support because I'm still new to the community. People didn't know me. It was a challenge getting into the schools. I knocked on Fargo doors. I said, I got this cool program. Would you let me into the schools to teach it? Nah, we already got Boys and Girls Club. We got Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, the YMCA program, Charism. We have all these programs. So we'll pass. I didn't like the location of my church, but I started. So that was a challenge. Learning to do it all by myself, and I was doing everything by myself. I was the social media. I prepared and designed all the curricula. I am the teacher. You name it. Anything that comes with the business, writing the grants, budgeting, financial planning, event planning, all of that. Marketer was me. And so that was tough because I had to learn how to do all of that on my own. And sometimes you have to do that because remember, it's your dream. It's your baby. Balancing work, business, family. But greatness takes hard work and sacrifice. So how in the world did I get accepted? How did they accept me, and give me a grant? I went to the FM Area Foundation. I said, I have this cool program, but I don't have a 501c3 yet. And to get a 501c3, it's like $800 to apply. Then it takes like a year or more to even get granted that access or that 501c3 number. And so I didn't let that stop me. I went through my church. I used their number. And I went to the FM Area Foundation, and I asked them, would you give me a grant? And they told me, well, you know what? You're going through a church. We've never awarded a grant through a church before. And you know what I told them? Well, what's wrong with trying? What's wrong with trying? And so I did. I submitted the grant, and I was awarded the grant. So don't let what's never been done prevent you from at least trying. With that grant, I was able to open up our own, P's and Q's own office space downtown. And so those are just pictures from our space. So then I thought about, well, I'm reaching kids from Fargo and West Fargo, but what about my kids in Moorhead? I wanted to expand. I wanted to get out there and reach as many kids as possible. So again, here we go. I applied for a job, and then I got this job in lunch supervising. And so I said, this is a great opportunity, and I did. I took that. I wore many hats. So while I was a lunch supervisor, it was also security. So you see me, I'm looking real bad there. I got my earpiece in. I would walk the halls because my job was to protect everybody and make everybody feel safe. And so, yeah, it was a great opportunity to build relationships with the students. It really was. I got to know everybody. The teachers had me on speed dial. Because after a year, I was promoted to student support services, and they gave me my classroom. And that's when I really saw the need. It would be the students who were getting ISS, kicked out of school, detention. They would come spend the time with me. And I was able to have those conversations with them to make them think, and just really get in deep with what are the issues, what's preventing you, why that behavior. Just have them think about their choices. And when I say the teachers had me on speed dial, they would call me, Rachel, we have a student, they're acting out, or da-da-da, can we send them down to you? And when they come back, though, there would be changes. So I worked with the counselors, and it would be the counselors and teachers telling me, whatever you're doing, Rachel, don't stop. Keep it going. Keep it going. Whatever you're doing, Rachel, don't stop that, because we're seeing less incident reports. There's less incident reports being written up, and the grades are changing. And I saw that, honestly, I'm making an impact here. I'm making a huge impact here. The students even started to get kicked out of their classes on purpose. And that was a problem. Now they're getting me in trouble because you're supposed to stay out of my classroom, okay? I don't want you in here. I don't want to see you in here. But they started getting kicked out because they wanted to come down and spend time with me. So what I did was I had them draw pictures of their goals. What do you want to become in life? What do you want to do? And then I would put those pictures up on the walls in my classroom. And then I said, well, you know what? If you wanna hang with me, come down and visit me before school then. So before school starts, come down, get your mind ready. Get your thoughts ready for the day, because you're going to have some obstacles, and it's going to be some haters out there. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to go through, throughout the day that are going to kind of pick at you, but you're going to have to respond in the right way, the best way. And so they started doing that, but they still wanted to spend time with me. I'd be walking the halls. I built so many great relationships. And then, again, purpose would come back to me and my life. Because I was walking those halls, and I was the one who was looking in the bathroom. And one day I went in the bathroom, and I saw a young girl in the bathroom stall, and she was on the floor, and she had this pen in her hand. And I looked at her wrist, and she was like gashing her wrist with this pen. And my mind went back to when I was a young girl, because I was that young girl. So things start to make sense. I hadn't gone through all of this for it to kill me or for me to just have a horrible life, but I had gone through all of this for somebody else. I was able to relate to that young girl. And now I'm building those relationships again. They wanted to come down to my class so bad. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to have a conversation with the principal. So I had that conversation with the principal, and we started P's and Q's at Horizon Middle School. The program started with 7 girls in 7th grade, and then the program just grew. By the next year, we had 33 girls in one class. And it just kept growing and kept growing. Now we're meeting with 7th graders, 8th graders, like during class. I'm so grateful for the Morehead Public School System because they gave me an opportunity to use my gift. And they welcomed me in. But yeah, he let me have P's and Q's to start the class during 6 periods. So during the school day, he granted me that, where I was able to meet with them during their down period. It was a study hall. But yeah, it just grew, and the students were very receptive to the program. We were, like I said, before school, during school, and after school. We partnered with community education. We're with 3rd and 4th graders. Parents can sign. Now parents are signing their kids up for the program. P's and Q's, honestly, it's an opportunity. It creates opportunities for students to lead. And you can keep going. Lead. We want them to lead. We want their voices to be heard. I want to activate them, empower them to use their talents, their gifts, and abilities. And we wanted it to be a creative impact. And so, if you keep going to a couple slides, that's just some girls that are doing some things in the community. I came up with this idea of a role modeling show. Remember, one of my roles or things that I've accomplished was Mrs. North Dakota. And then I started modeling. I went to cosmetology school. So fashion, that's all a gift. That's all my gifts and skills. And so I said, let me come up with this role modeling show. It's not all about beauty, but it's about what you bring to the community, your talents, your gifts, your abilities, and how you use that to demonstrate leadership in the community. And so, I created this role modeling show, and so each year we pick 2 girls to go into the community, and they represent what P's and Q's is. And so I take them on a television show, North Dakota Today, and they're just, some of these girls never get the opportunity. They've never done anything big like this in their lives. But to have that really just builds their self-esteem. The role modeling show, honestly, it highlights women from all areas of life. We pick women from the YWCA shelter to Jeremiah Project. We pick teachers, honestly, because it's for women and men now. It started just for women, but we've added our male role models. But if you are a mother or woman who has gotten knocked down and has gotten back up, has the courage to get up every morning, you're special and you deserve to be honored. You're a role model because our youth are watching you as well. And so we celebrate women from all walks of life. Our kids dress up in what they will become. So we plant seeds. They're dressing up in their career wear. And then we just say thank you to those adults in the community. You can keep going. This is just some things that I've done in the community. So here, remember, I love to sing. I love to sing. I had a dream, and I'm still in the schools now. All this is happening while I'm still in the schools. And I would be singing during, like, assemblies or special occasions. But I had this dream one night, and I heard this melody. So I recorded it, and I went into the studio and made a single called You Are. Because life is about purpose. Whatever you're good at, whatever your dreams are, you must accomplish that. You can accomplish that. So I created a couple singles that are on iTunes. If you're interested, take a listen to it. It's called You Are. So it all started to make sense. 90+% of the students who were coming to my classroom, getting kicked out of class ISS, were males. And then remember, they were purposely being kicked out. They wanted to come down to see me. And I'm like, why? Why do you want to come see? But I became Mama Rachel. And then it started to make sense why I had my 3 sons. Yeah. Because I raised them. I raised them. And so I knew what it was like to be a boy with issues. And those kids who were coming to me, they knew that I knew what they were talking about because I had raised my 3 sons. And so all of that experience just prepared me. The young guys were coming in and they were like, where's a program for us, Miss Rachel? You got the girls, what about us? And so I launched the leaderboard. I launched that in 2017. And I partnered with some local role models in the community. I had different talks with like Officer Bloom and college students, athletes, and just community members, and said, you know what, our boys, they need the support. They need a place where they can talk and express and grow and learn as well. And so we launched the leaderboard. And I'm coming to a close. I decided last year in February to resign. I resigned from Morehead Public Schools. Remember, I'm everything. I'm working a full-time job. I'm meeting with students before I even go to my job in the morning, when I get off my job, during school, and then after school, after when school ends, I'm going there as well. And so I'm trying to run this program. I'm really burnt out now. So I decide that, you know what, I'm gonna, it's time. I also started to feel that call again. I wasn't necessarily bored, but I just felt like I'm not really using my skills and talents where I'm needed now. I felt like my job was done. I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that was to reach our young people, to give them a voice, a place, and to let them know that there's somebody who cares for them. And P's and Q's was very successful. We were getting, other principals who are interested, and the program is growing. So after much prayer and thought, I decided, I'm gonna resign from Morehead Public Schools. And I cried. I cried and I cried because I got attached to them, but I knew my purpose was calling me. So then a local parent in the community contacts me and says, Rachel, you know what? We've heard about the great things that you're doing in the community, and we think you should run for Morehead School Board. And I'm like, what? I just resigned from the school. I'm feeling burnt out. I want to focus more on P's and Q's. I just don't know. But again, I knew that there was more. There was more for me. I knew that purpose was calling me. There's something else for me to do here in this region. And I had been in the schools. I had seen the need, and I wanted to do something about it. But I didn't know what to do and how to do it. So again, I see this as a great opportunity, but running a school campaign is something I've never done and never really thought about doing. But then again, after prayer and thinking about it, I decided I'm going to run for this campaign. I'm for school board. I'm going to run this campaign. And boy, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. You watch television shows, you hear things, but you never know what it's like until you get into it. Running this campaign was one of the hardest tasks I ever had in my life. To campaign and walk till you have blisters on your feet, because that's what it's going to take. Getting plantar fasciitis, medical condition in your feet, where I can't even wear, and you wouldn't believe how great my stiletto collection was, and to have to get rid of that, it just hurt my soul. It really, really did. But yeah, it really impacted me. I knocked over 5,439 doors, and I had to face some disappointment, some very scary situations, where people who weren't quite ready for that change. But I learned how strong I was. And when you have a passion and a drive, it motivates you. It'll push you. And I knew that this is something I have to do. I wanted to be a change. I wanted to bring a change. I wanted to be that voice of impact, and to give people voices who never had that voice, that change. or that chance before. And on January 13th, I took that oath. I never ever saw my name on a ballot, but it was the coolest thing to see my name along with the other leaders, political leaders, and wow, I never thought. But I ran a campaign and we won. So, legacy. What do you want to be remembered for? What is your legacy? And you have a handout. There's some dates on there. Not dates, but some years on there. When you think about what do you want to do in your life? What do you want to accomplish? You may feel discouraged. You may feel like you can't quite do it. You may have been told that you'll never do it. But it's your dream. It's your legacy. What do you want to do? What do you want to be remembered for? I didn't want to be remembered as just another pretty face. I want to be remembered as someone who's inspirational and brought change, who cared and did great things in the community, in this world. So that's my legacy. I found my why. Remember I was asking why? Why me? Why me? I was born for someone else. Honestly, I was born for all of you. I wouldn't be here standing before you if I myself had not overcome the many, many, many challenges and obstacles. So as you think about what you want to do, reach for the sky. Reach for the stars. I mean, it's unlimited, the power. It's unlimited, the power that you possessed. You can do amazing things in this world. Because you are, you are. You are the air I breathe, the song I sing, and you are, you are, you are, you are the air I breathe, the song I sing, and you are, you are, you are. Thank you.